Hey, it's Tamisha Burgess, CEO and founder of Synergy Plus, patent pending intellectual developmental disabilities compliance technology. I'm also the creator of Fireside Chats for Global Women. I also work privately, exclusively with those who are ready to turn their pain of anxiety and depression into their power. For more information, you can read more on patreon.com/Phoenix Rising exclusives. Now, I'm charged to share something very profound. As you all know, this is considered to me an unorthodox New Age. That in and of itself is powerful, to say the least. We are living in unorthodox times, and I call these times an unorthodox New Age. And I am an unorthodox New Age mental health leader. Now, what does that mean? Well, if you watched my last video on broken people create broken systems, you know exactly what I meant about this being an unorthodox New Age and me being an unorthodox New Age mental health leader. But just to rehash that, unorthodox, meaning everything and all things that are contrast to what has been considered the norm, to what has been considered traditions, to what has been considered the same ways of doing things, believing, speaking, creating. Unorthodox is everything that is contrast to what has always been. I share unorthodox perspectives about the darkness of mental health disorders, particularly those of anxiety and depression. And so here I am sharing an unorthodox perspective about the ideas of suicide. Now, I want you to listen to understand. And if you are truly on the journey of the phoenix who is ready to rise into the dawn of your new days, then this message is for you. If you are experiencing thoughts of suicide, having thoughts of suicide, this is normal. If you are on the journey of the phoenix that is ready to rise into the dawn of your new days, then you should be experiencing thoughts of suicide. You should be having thoughts of suicide. Now, this is only for you if you are on the journey of the phoenix. Okay? Now, I did a video sometime last year, 2019, where I read the story, the motif of a phoenix and what that means, right? Now, if you have some time, you should do the research yourself on what it means to follow the path of a phoenix, okay? Now, just Google it. You can find many motifs, many written tales, many written stories out there. But if you in my age bracket or younger, then do some research about what the journey of the phoenix is. The journey of the phoenix, just making a short point here, the journey of the phoenix is a mythical, mysterious, beautiful bird that literally builds its own funeral pyre. Okay, literally builds its own. It takes materials, it's wood and shrubs, and literally builds its own funeral pyre, burns in its own fire, and then is reborn into this beautiful, mystical creature that literally becomes unfuckwithable, untouchable in so many ways, okay? So do your research about the journey of the phoenix. If you are on this journey, okay, you are doing the work to journey through the darkness of your own mental health. You are doing the work, then you are on the journey of the phoenix, ready to die and be reborn into your new. But this death of the phoenix is a metaphorical death. It is a symbolic death, okay? Now, unless you take the journey through the darkness of your mental health, you will misinterpret what it means to have suicidal thoughts, okay? This is very, very important. Now, I want you to listen to this, okay? Listen to understand. If you are on the journey of the Phoenix and you are having suicidal thoughts, it is important for you to get with somebody who has the emotional intelligence themselves, who have journeyed through the darkness of mental health themselves, who can hold the space with you, who can walk with you through this darkness. Because if you don't, you will misinterpret the meaning of having suicidal thoughts to begin with. Okay? Again, phoenixes who are ready to rise into the dawn of their new days are thinking about suicide. You will be having many thoughts about death, and this is symbolic. Okay? This is synonymous with the journey of the Phoenix. Now, the reason why you're having these suicidal thoughts is because your inner Phoenix is communicating with you that it is ready to be born. It is ready to be birthed into the dawn of these new unorthodox days. Okay? But the importance of being able to interpret these suicidal thoughts when they come is being able to gain emotional intelligence. Okay? Now, I have some points here that I want to go over because I want to be able to stay on track so that you really, really get this. All right? This is so imperative so that you really, really get this. You must gain emotional intelligence to be able to interpret why suicidal thoughts are coming up for you in the first place. I'll say that again and write this down if you must. You must gain emotional intelligence to be able to interpret why suicidal thoughts are coming up for you in the first place. Okay? The only way to gain this emotional intelligence and be able to interpret these suicidal thoughts when they come up, because they will come up, they must come up, they are supposed to come up. Okay? So when these suicidal thoughts come up, you have to have been able to have journeyed through the darkness of your mental health, to have gained the emotional intelligence to interpret the thoughts when they come up, because they will come up, because they must come up. They are supposed to come up. Now, what does this mean to have suicidal thoughts if you are on the journey of the Phoenix? Your inner Phoenix is communicating with you that it is ready to be born, and that it's up to you to be able to bring it forth, to call it forth. If you are having suicidal thoughts, it is time for you to prepare your own funeral pyre. Now, the suicidal thoughts we're talking about and preparing this own funeral pyre, okay, is all metaphorical, okay? This does not mean literally plan your funeral and tell your family that you physically are going to die and that you want them to get your will and testament in order, all right? This isn't that type of conversation, okay? Your inner Phoenix is building its own inner funeral pyre and is telling you that it is ready to die in order to be reborn. Your inner fire, that inner power that you have kept hidden and disguised under the auspices of this image that you have carried and showed to the world, whether it developed in your childhood. I wrote an article, it's on my LinkedIn. It's called Anxiety and Depression Speaks. What are they trying to tell you? Okay, after you watch this video, I want you to go over to my LinkedIn and read this article. Anxiety and Depression Speaks. What are they trying to tell you? We'll give you some insight into what I mean about wearing this air of disguise and it beginning in our childhood. Okay. So as these suicidal thoughts come up, what they are telling you, okay, and this is the emotional intelligence that you must gain in order to be able to interpret why you're having these thoughts. But what these thoughts are telling you is that you are ready to die to the old. Okay, metaphorically, symbolically, you are ready to die to the old ideas that you've had about yourself. You are ready to die to the old beliefs that you carried about yourself. You're ready to die to traditions. You're ready to die to old ways of being. You're ready to die to everything that you've been taught about yourself and about the world around you and be reborn into the new ideas that you create, not that the world has given you, and not even that your family has given you. Those that you have loved the most have been the main culprits that have taught you to wear this auspices of disguise that has kept your power hidden. You are having these suicidal thoughts because your power is ready to be born. You are having these suicidal thoughts because you are ready to die to the disguise that you have been wearing for far too long. You're ready to get rid of all this old shit, okay? You're ready to stop playing the mind games with yourself and with the world around you. And you are ready to give birth to your power. You are ready to call your power fully to the forefront, whatever that power is for you. And these suicidal thoughts are coming up as indications that you are ready to die to the old and be reborn into the new. This is why you are having suicidal thoughts. If you are a phoenix that is ready to be reborn into the new, this is why you are having suicidal thoughts, okay? But this is why it's important to gain this emotional intelligence, because you gotta be able to intelligently interpret why you're having suicidal thoughts in the first place. This is powerful, isn't it? This is what I mean by unorthodox perspectives. This is why I am considered an unorthodox New Age mental health leader, because this perspective that I'm sharing with you about suicidal ideations is unorthodox, isn't it? It's unusual to say that it's normal to have suicidal thoughts, but it absolutely is. And it is time to have unusual conversations. It's time to stop playing games with ourselves about who the fuck we are, who you are. It is time to stop wearing the disguise, burn away the disguise. If you are a phoenix, you are ready to burn it all away and show up fully in your power. And this is what it means to contemplate suicide. Now, this is not a physical death. This is, again, metaphorical, symbolic deaths. And you must gain emotional intelligence to be able to properly interpret your suicidal thoughts. Okay? Now, those who physically take their lives haven't developed this emotional intelligence, right? They have these suicidal thoughts. They even have dreams and visions about suicide, and they're misinterpreting why they're having these visions. These suicidal thoughts aren't coming up and telling you to physically kill yourself. It's telling you to symbolically and metaphorically kill away the old ideas that's kept you dead in the first place. You're already dead, right? It's already a death that is happening. It's been a death that has happened a very, very long time ago, and it started in your childhood. The death has been you covering and hiding your internal power, your magic, your skill, your dreams, your vision, your je ne sais quoi, whatever those are for you. Okay? And so the suicidal thoughts are showing up and telling you that you are ready to die to the old and be reborn into the new. Okay? The other point I want to make, suicide. The phoenix bird literally builds its own funeral pyre. I said that a few minutes ago. But this is figuratively speaking. Figuratively, the phoenix kills itself, right? It burns in its old flames and it bursts through the flames into the dawn of new days. This is what the thoughts of suicide for the phoenix means, okay? You are burning away the old. You are dying to the old ideas, old ways of being. You are dying to almost everything that you've ever been taught about yourself and about the world around you. You are dying to even what you taught yourself. You are dying to the disguise that you created to hide your power. So the suicidal thoughts are showing up and letting you know that it's done with hiding its power. And the last point I want to make, because the time is cutting me off, I have a few more seconds. Death is required on the journey of the phoenix. Death is required on the journey of the phoenix, but it is a metaphorical, symbolic, alchemical death. And you must journey through the darkness of mental health to be able to properly interpret why you are having suicidal thoughts.